Hi, it's John here again in the field with a real-world example of why you'd want to use auto exposure lock. Let's take a look at this button on the back. You see that star button? That can be your best friend in many unique situations. Now here's one. Up at the tank we have Trevor. Trevor, I need you to wave. Trevor's way up there. So we want to take a shot of Trevor, but if we were just to sit here and take a shot like this, his face would come out darker or shadowy because you have all that sky in the background and the sensor from the camera is reading the exposure, taking into account all that sky. But our subject is just Trevor. So let's lock in the exposure beforehand. Now if Trevor were really close, I'd walk up to him or zoom in on his shirt and do it. But he's far away, we can't reach him. So we're going to take an exposure or something close by and lock in that exposure before we take the picture. Now we have the gray tank here. So we're going to zoom in on a little part of the tank, and all we have to do is, while we're zoomed in, we don't have to take a picture, we're going to hit that star button. And once we hit that star button, in the bottom left of the camera, you're going to see an asterisk light up. Now that means I'm all set for this even exposure. There's no sky in the background. The green tint approximately is a nice average of his shirt and his skin and his hair. So it's a nice neutral exposure instead of having bright sun and white clouds, which would mess it up. Now that exposure is neutral, hey, look like you're having a good time. Tilt your head a little there. Look fantastic. Sears catalog, great. Take the picture of him, and he's going to come out much more evenly exposed than if I were just take a picture of him with the sky in the background. Now this camera does a really good job of figuring out exposures and subjects, but it's not going to be perfect in this particular situation. And because he's so far away, we're going to have to lock on something close. Once it's locked on the exposure, now you hold the shutter button halfway down, and it's not going to change the exposure, it's just going to change the focus. So here's a real world example of being able to use auto exposure lock button, locking it in, and then being able, once it's locked in, to get your focus and get your subject so the exposure comes out just the way you want it.
Hi, Bob Nagy here with Elite Video. Today we're going to cover the Canon 40D, the latest offering in the digital SLR line from Canon. Well, if you like what you've seen here, remember we have an over 2.5-hour in-depth video on 40D, including tech support. So check us out at elitevideo.com. Until next time, take care.